Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to start with our lesson number 4 of English book 2. The title is End of Term and it is by David Dacius. The writer starts by saying, I believe a school teacher wrote a book some years ago with title Friday, Thank God. That phrase expresses perfectly my attitude to the arrival of the weekend during term time when I was a schoolboy. The daily grind of school with its abundant homework, its fierce competition, the sense of never being able to relax pressed heavily upon me. Pressed heavily upon me, it meant it was quite of a pressure upon me, it was quite of a burden to me, in spite of the fact that I often enjoyed the actual classroom work. Waking up in the morning with the knowledge that one simply had to get out of bed, that there was no possibility of turning over for an extra dose, and seeing the hours of school stretching ahead was a dismal experience. Dismal, sad experience, especially on a Monday. We had a maid once who would climb each morning with grim steps up to the attic floor. Okay, girls, grim is hard or cruel. Here actually you can see from the text that the steps were not as hard and cruel as they appeared to him because he did not like to wake up early in the morning. So she would climb the attic floor. You see, where Lionel and the writer slept in one bedroom and his sister Sylvia in another, and announced in deep funereal tones, Lionel, David, Sylvia, time. Now, funereal is gloomy, very sad. Again, you can see, the adjectives. They are telling how he didn't like the idea of waking up in the morning. Everything which tried to wake him in the morning appeared to him tough and grim and gloomy. He says, I used to lie waiting for that ominous tread. Tread is the sound of steps. Ominous is basically omen. It is from omen. And omen is a sign of good or bad luck. When something we say is ominous, it tells about the approach. It proclaims the approach of something bad beforehand. So he says that, and definitely, why was it ominous? The tread was ominous because he knew that after that tread, the sound for waking up would come. I used to lie waiting for that ominous tread on the uncarpeted attic stairs, and the voice it heralded. Herald, to sound, to announce the approach of something. So the voice it heralded sounded in my ears like summons to damnation. Summoning is calling someone, ordering. Damnation is condemnation to hell. Anticipation is, girls, when you realize something beforehand. So the anticipation was always worse than the reality. It means that actually how he feared the whole school day and everything, actually he did not find it that bad. He says, I don't remember ever being specially unhappy in class, but the oppressive weight of the knowledge of a full day school ahead remained a characteristic sensation of my childhood and disappeared only after I had left school and entered the university, where the smaller number of classes to be attended and the freedom of the student to come and go meant a completely new kind of academic world. To wake up on Thursday morning to feel the end of the week already lying ahead, Friday morning was positively rose-colored. Rose-colored, very beautiful. The last period, as each of our lessons was called on a Friday, means you can see that the lessons, they were planned in such a way that the first lesson for every subject was on Monday and the last lesson was on Friday. So he says that the last period on a Friday, whatever the subject, had a special happy flavor of the end of the week, and one walked home from school on a Friday afternoon, however much homework had been assigned for the Monday, with the tread of an escaped prisoner. Tread is walk of an escaped prisoner. Friday night, with 2 solid days before school again, was the best night of the week. Saturday night, with still a whole day between it and Monday, was pleasant in a quite different way. And Sunday night was full of the threat of Monday morning. So because basically, a very, in fact, the sort of memory which everyone shares something with, everyone actually shares the feelings of the writer about the end of the week, and that is very honestly he has shared how he felt about the arrival of the week. Now, he gives, in the next paragraph, he says that sometimes there were unexpected respites. Respite is, a time of rest. He says that there were sometimes unexpected respites as well. A half holiday to let us attend a football match which some unforeseen is unexpected, unforeseen circumstance had caused to be cancelled the preceding the last Saturday, previous Saturday, or the sudden dismissal of school an hour or two before the usual time because of some unexpected crisis or celebration. But these were few and far between, very rare. Once a term, we had the annual midterm holiday, a Monday off, which made a luxuriously long weekend, but it seemed to go just as fast as ordinary weekends. And occasionally in winter, if there had been a continuous hard frost for some days, we would get a whole day's skating holiday. These were blessed breaks in routine, but not, of course, comparable to the holidays we got at Christmas and at Easter, 3 weeks in each in my earlier school days, later tragically reduced to a fortnight's 2 weeks. And then, if my recollection is memory, if my recollection of loss is not misleading me, they were reduced to a mere 10 days. But the holidays which deserve to be called the holidays were the summer holidays, the 2 months vacation we got in the summertime, and it was these months towards which the whole year moved. There was something to be looked forward to, that such a time will come when he will have 2 months off. He says 2 months seemed a long time in those days. Indeed, I used to have the feeling that for all practical purposes, I could look forward to. You see, one knows that something is there, hope is there, one will have a time of rest and one will be able to do anything one liked. So I could look forward to a period of permanent felicity. Happiness, intense happiness. I would walk home across the meadows in the July sunshine, wearing my summer school clothes of grey cricket shirt, grey shorts, and red Watson's blazer, and savor my happiness with conscious relish. Savor? You see, when you actually enjoy the full taste or flavor of something, right? By drinking it slowly. Relish is special taste or smell of something. So he consciously enjoyed each and every moment of that time. He says, I could hardly believe that 3 strenuous school terms had indeed rolled away, and the when you long for something, when you wait for something, right? And the longed for, dreamed of, almost, it seemed at times mythical, which is not a reality, right? So mythical summer holidays were at hand, unspoiled as yet, unused yet, right? Lying intact, untouched. They have not been changed, they have not been used. Lying intact and promising just ahead. Is that he could hardly believe that those 3 strenuous school terms had indeed rolled away, and the longed for, dreamed of, almost mythical summer holidays were at hand, unspoiled as yet, lying intact and promising just ahead. It all seemed too good to be true. But he says that wishes don't come true in this life. I knew that. All my early now girls, so he first talked about the weekend, and you see how he felt about it, and then he talked about the unexpected respites, then he talked about the best time he could always look forward to, that is summer break, and now he actually shares something of the memories about unfulfilled desires. He says wishes didn't come true in this life. I knew that. All my early childhood I longed desperately for a tricycle which my parents could never afford, and later the wish was transferred to a bicycle, and there too I was permanently disappointed. I bought my first bicycle, he says in the parenthesis in small bracket, he says, I bought my first bicycle for myself when I was 21 with prize money I had won at Edinburgh University. How often had I stood outside sweet shops with empty pockets longing for a penny or two to materialize somehow, or hung on the outskirts of a crowd around an ice cream barrow wondering whether the ice cream man could be miraculously inspired to offer me a cornet or a slider free. But these things never happen. So girls, you can see the innocent desires of having a tricycle, then a bicycle, and then you see desiring for sweet shops but having empty pockets, and then standing you see at the outskirts of a crowd, that is the outer edge of a crowd, the crowd of the people who had money to buy ice cream and he never had, and he would think with the heart of an innocent child that perhaps the ice cream man would miraculously be inspired to offer him an ice cream free of cost, but these things never happened. He says the few pence of weak pocket money we received was to be put into an into a money box and saved. And during our early childhood, Lionel, Sylvia, and I never had anything to spend for ourselves. So the limitations of the family, he talks about them indirectly, and he conveys as to how these things are developed in his heart, some unfulfilled, some desires were there, but he could never materialize them. But he says that there was something which always was granted to him. And yet, he says, yet summer and the summer holidays did come, the school year did come to an end, and one did find oneself at last standing by the trunks and suitcases outside number 6 Millerfield Place, waiting for the taxi, glorious vehicle that was to convey the family and its luggage to the railway station. Right, girls? Definitely to the railway station, to go to some place where they wanted to have a bit of time of excursion, a family time. Okay, so girls, basically in this end of term, in this lesson, once again, you find a lot of things to relate with, a lot of feelings to relate with. So the new words were not many, but whichever new words they came your way, you have to learn their spellings and meanings and learn the notes properly, girls. Okay, girls, thank you.